Good afternoon. I'm Madeline, and today my topic is Web3, why the future of Web3 is automated. So I have to say, first of all, this is my first public speaking in crypto. The organizer have promised me if I bomb, they're going to delete the video. So if I bomb, please just keep the information to yourself. Then without further ado, I will start. A little bit short introduction on myself. I'm Madeline. I lead the business development team at Gelato. And I am trained as a transaction lawyer. I was also at SVC. I worked for JP Morgan on the sales and trading floor for 3 years. Then my family always joke that I managed to combine the two most hated professions in the world into one. Then I joined the team of Gelato at the end of last year. That's everything is my part-time job. My full-time job is I'm a mom of a 6-year-old girl. Then being a busy working mom, one of the things that I have to do over and over again, which is to pay for mortgage, to pay for gas, pay for water, to pay for Kita, which is kindergarten in German. Then all of that, I try to use as much automated payment as possible. So if someone do not want to offer me gyro payments, no can do. I can't imagine me trying to set up payments or transfer people money like 10 times, 20 times on the 1st or the 15th of every month. Then you would assume that crypto, being the future of the current financial system, would have this kind of level of automation already. And that assumption wouldn't be so far away from the truth. The thing is, smart contracts, they are very lazy. I like to think of smart contracts like Bill Gates. They are very smart, but they are very lazy. The reason for that is they only define certain logic and state, and those logic will only be triggered when EOA, which means external owned account. Basically, let's say if you own a MetaMask account, if you own a Tidal account, Wallet Connect, when that EOA sends a transaction to the smart contract. And if no one sends a transaction, the smart contract will just do nothing. So smart contract itself doesn't self-execute conditionally or recurringly. Then what's the reason for that? I think just now in the morning, I see many of you raise your hands that you're either a Web2 developer or you're a Web3 developer. Just imagine, let's say if you have a full loop. For someone as me, like who suck at computing, that I think the very first bug I always remember is I just stuck in a full loop and it never goes out. And think about that happening on chain, which means no one, if I ever make a mistake and I have a full loop, no one will ever to get any transaction mined on that block. So this is by design not the way that Ethereum wants, and that's the reason why smart contracts are designed to be lazy. And so, which means automation can only be achieved off-chain. But it's computationally expensive for full node and also increased centralization, which also in a way increase the possibility of a spam attack. Then can you this is where Gelato comes in. We are Web3 automation protocol, which means if you have a smart contract function that you want someone to call on your behalf, and you don't have to worry about stock transactions, that's what we do. Then how do we do that? So if you're familiar with automation in Web2, then you probably, let's say if you are familiar with Linux, it's more like scanning on your laptop for malware every 12 hours. You can refer to us like a cron job. Then let's say if you're more familiar with cloud-based applications, think of us like someone who is AWS Cloud Watcher events. So I can schedule a Twitter feed every 12 hours, or I can send Telegram notification every 12 hours. Can we use this kind of services to automate smart contract? And the answer is yes. So you can definitely build, automate a customized external Web2-based job scheduling system by combining all four of them. So you need to have the AWS Cloud Watcher, you need to have database, RPC providers, and Lambdas. So if being a good developer, I think all of you guys are, if I can just write a script and have this done within a day or two, why do you want to use a third-party service, right? And the reason is it's actually not that easy. Do you really want to host your own servers on AWS and worry if you have enough AWS balance or credits on your account? Do you want to deal with RPC providers? I think a couple of weeks ago, Infura was down for more than an hour, which means no one can mine any transactions on the chain. Do you want to have a call 2 a.m. every morning? Or I think even for some of the larger developer organizations I talk to, they still get up like three nights in a row in a week to deal with stock transactions. And for Gelato, we are multi-chain, and we are live on most of the EVM-compatible chains. I think so mainnet, BSC, Avalanche, you name it, and most likely we're already there. Then you will no longer become your single point failure by handling everything yourself. And private key is another rabbit hole that I don't want to go into. Then how do you use Gelato? This is already, so this, we just wait 2 more seconds. So you enter smart contract address. You choose the function that you want to automate. Here is the increment harvest vaults. Of course, you need to enter the vault address. When do you set a condition? You can set it every 2 days, every 2 hours, every 5 minutes. You top up your account, create a task, it's done. It's really that easy. Then a couple of the use cases so far that we see Gelato, people are building on top of Gelato. Yield farming, I don't know how familiar you are with the concept of DeFi or yield farms. Let's say if you have, for me, yield farm is just like I'm growing some crops and want to take my crops every 2 days, except my crop can have this compounding feature. So we see lots of yield farms using Gelato to auto-harvest it or auto-compound their interest. Then one of the most commonly used use cases is price oracle and TWAP. TWAP stands for time-weighted average price. This is when protocols use TWAP to avoid anyone manipulating the price of any particular token pair so that they can avoid sandwich attack. Then rebasing of algorithmic stablecoins. So if any of you are following what's going on Twitter, you know what's going on with UST, you know what's going on with Luma. So that's another rabbit hole that I don't want to go into, but for algorithmic stablecoin, they have this function which is called rebasing. Basically, they increase or decrease the supply of that token to make sure that they always peg to the original price. Let's say if it is TOM, then they want to peg to FTA. They want to peg to FTM, then if USDC, USDT. Then a couple of other use cases that we've seen are automated payments for DAOs, because DAOs are currently distributing funds for the developers or their fund members, usually using a Google Sheets. And with Gelato, they can just use select the treasury account, use distribute fund, choose the frequency or the condition that they want to pay out to their DAO members, and it's considered automated. Then a couple of advanced trading strategies we see, whether it's RSI, whether it's moving average, 14 days, 13 days, 150 days. Then these are all the projects currently using Gelato. As you can see here, we have some of the really blue chip projects in crypto using us. So Aave, Maker, Olympus, Avagochi, if any of you guys hold their own Gochi. Then Zrun, if you are a digital house raising fund. Then PancakeSwap. Then I think we have an interesting portfolio of customers, not only because there are blue chip projects, but also because there are some of them are super small. They have like 2 guys in their team, and they decide they just want to do the front end UI. One guy will become the Solidity developer, and they use Gelato to take care of their DevOps. So you save all the time and resources and focus on the things that really matter to you. And that marked the end of my presentation for today. Thank you very much for listening. Then if you have any questions, this is the time for you. Yeah, please. Yeah. 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 Yeah, definitely. That's very interesting. So for one, so far we only deal with on-chain data. So it has to be on-chain, the data that you are trying to, the events that you are trying to listen to. We are working together with the Polyrapper team from the Graph. Then hopefully in 5 to 8 weeks, so one of our developers, where you are, can you please raise your hand? They have been promising that we're going to have the Polyrapper feature as soon as possible. And coming from developer team, I'm assuming 5 to 8 weeks, then we'll be able to deal with off-chain data as well. Yeah, for that we have, so the demo that I just showed you is only time-based. So it's every 5 minutes, every 2 hours. When you have more complicated conditions that you want to call your smart contract function, you can do so with a resolver contract. So you need to write a shell script to define what kind of conditions that you want to have your smart contract function triggered. Then it's also you can directly plug in the resolver from our UI. Okay. Sorry, can I trigger what based on?
Event that comes from our.
Definitely. So the one that I just showed you, press Oracle and top, I think whenever it's to, let's say people have very complicated vault strategies. And usually depends on, let's say, I want to have my position liquidated if USD drop more than 30% today. So that's based upon a price Oracle trigger.
So if I have a use case where I have some profit coming in through
Yeah.
my traditional channel and I want to distribute it.
Yeah.
If I put that profit information on an Oracle, can it be fed into the automation trigger?
Yes, so that's one of the use case Abracadabra is using Gelato for, because for Abracadabra, they have like, I don't know, 200, 400 vaults. They actually, they use layer 0 to transfer cross-chain message, and they use Gelato to pay cross-chain payments. So that's definitely something that you can do with us. Any other questions? No one asked me where is the free gelato. We don't have anything today, but next time. Yeah.
How do you monetize it? So if I use your...
For now, for this service, we don't charge any fee. People ask me, then what's your business model? How do you make money? Because we have a portfolio of product. We are not charging anything for this one. We are charging fees for the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe where's the name gelato coming from? Like, how is it related to?
You want the official story or the unofficial story? So I'm not quite sure whether I can tell you the unofficial story, which is very much in vibe with Berlin, but I can't discuss it. But the official story is both of the founders, they are huge fans of gelato. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. We don't. By using us, you don't have to worry about the private key management. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for raising that question. That's one of the areas where we shine. So on mainnet, we work with the Flashbox guys to avoid this kind of front running and back running. Any other questions? No questions. Then that's it. Thank you, guys.